2011 AT&T MLS All-Star Game. The MLS All-Stars will take on Manchester United on Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN2, Telefutura, and TSN. We'd like to start out this press conference with a few words from Coach Hans Backe of the New York Red Bulls. He is flanked by David Beckham of the LA Galaxy, Brad Davis of the Houston Dynamo, and Thierry of the New York Red Bulls. Coach?
Yes, thank you. Of course, always a challenge to face United. We've seen so far in the pre-season, the friendlies they played, that they take this really serious. They will definitely go for it every friendly game in the pre-season. So, as I said, definitely a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we can pick up a good result. We've got some really quality players in for this game. And you wanted me to say something a little bit about my picks. Of course, everyone knows David's great career with Man United, or even with Real Madrid, and his comeback so quick after his Achilles surgery has been phenomenal. Great season this year. Brad, definitely one of my favorite players on the left-hand side. Good understanding of the game, knowledge of the game. Same with Thierry and his career with Arsenal and Barcelona. Also with the French national team, of course. Great season, top scorer. I think I've scored 11 so far. So we have definitely quality players in, and hopefully we have one session tomorrow. Can work with some basic tactics, make it as simple as possible for the game on Wednesday.
Great. Now we're going to open it up for a question and answer portion. Again, please raise your hand and wait for the microphone to arrive. Let's start here in the middle, in the blue shirt.
Thierry, you've been here, right here. You've been here a year now, parts of 2 seasons. Can you talk about what's different and what's the same, what you expected from the league, and your choice to come here again?
I've arrived here. It's been more than amazing for me. As I said, the other day we played in Seattle, 48,000 people. We played in San Jose, 41. People are responding well. The fans are coming to see the games. Like the boss said, you have some amazing players in this league. Obviously, sometimes people are going to talk about me, players coming from Europe, but you'll be surprised if some of the guys who are watching the games in the MLS, hopefully they do. We have some amazing players playing all around the league, and can maybe have a future playing in Europe. Then that depends on them. But I've been actually surprised about the level, the physicality of the game here, and also the understanding of some of the players in this league.
We'll go over here.
Yes, Hans. Considering that Juan Agudelo has had trouble finding playing time under you, are you surprised that he was picked by the commissioner for the All-Star game? And do you have any problems with him being on the team?
No, not at all. It's a player for the future, because he's only still 18 years old. He's a homegrown player at the Red Bull Arena, so that was no surprise for me. So I have no problem with that.
Go over here on this side.
Thierry, could you comment on Chicharito, your observations of him, and what impresses you specifically the most about him?
I think the most important thing for him as a striker is to score goals, especially the way he plays. You can see that he's a kind of an old-fashioned type of striker. That's all he wants. He wants to score goals. He wants to be in the 6-yard box. He's waiting for the defender to make a mistake. So he's always aware that the ball's going to come to him, and that's what he's hoping for. And he's a great finisher. Going at Manchester United and did what he did, it's just amazing. I don't think anyone was expecting him to do what he did, but he did it. So I think Man United should be happy with what the kid did. But as a striker, you can only respect a guy that scores goals so far.
Go over to Jack Bell with the New York Times.
Yes, for David. David, this is the last year of your contract with MLS. You have certain options, I'm sure, whether it's going back to Europe or remaining. Have you been talking with the Galaxy about possibly extending your stay?
I haven't spoke to, sorry, good afternoon. I haven't spoke to the Galaxy yet. They know, obviously, my situation and where I stand right now. Obviously, this is my last year in the 5-year contract, but I have to just wait. You know, I had a bad injury last year. I'm coming back now, and I feel great right now. So I have to feel and see how I feel at the end of the season, see how my body feels. And if I continue to feel like I do right now, then I'll continue to play. I'm happy here. I'm happy playing for the Galaxy. I'm happy playing in this league. I enjoy playing in this country. My family loves living here, so but it's just down to how really my body feels at the end of the year.
Moving to the front row in the brown shirt.
Thierry, for someone who left Arsenal to go to Barcelona, what would you say to Czech Fabregas right now?
Unfortunately for you guys, I'm not the boss of Arsenal, so I don't want to let you deal with that. I can see it's already as difficult for Cesc and the club. Then we'll see. I'm like you guys. I took my decision, and that was only me. Now we'll see what Cesc is going to do.
Okay, we're going to go over here.
Thierry, do you think Manchester United need to sign a player like Beckham to come closer to the level of Barcelona?
Wow, now I'm the boss of Man United.
You have seen that?
I don't know. Do you think that? I don't know. That's your whole team. You know, I don't know. Seriously, I mean, I think Sir Alex Ferguson is right there. You should ask him. I mean, I think he can be someone amazing for the league. After, you know, who am I to talk about that? You know, I mean, I respect anybody and everybody, but you know, we'll see. I mean, that's the type of question you should ask Sir Alex.
Christian?
This question's for Brad. Brad, since you arrived in the league in 2002, did you ever think that you'd be sitting next to a David Beckham and a Thierry Henry, and the league would be filling up stadiums like it is in Portland, Seattle, and other places?
I would hope it did, and it has. You know, the league's grown so much over the past few years, and you know, more and more guys are coming over here. This league wasn't here when I was growing up, and you know, I grew up watching these guys, and you know, tried modeling myself around some of these guys that are coming over now, and it's been fantastic. So, you know, as I said, it's the league's gotten better. The talent's very good here, and it's getting better. So, you know, hopefully it continues to go in the right direction.
Great, in the great shirt over there.
David, you've been on the other side of this, playing for United in Madrid and being on tour and having fans in a foreign country turn out to see you play, going up against the little team that could. How do you approach a game like this when you're playing for the big famous club versus now when you're playing for the league that has something to prove?
I think when you play at that level, you approach every game exactly the same, whether it's a friendly in a different country or whether it's a European Cup final. You play to win. You know, Manchester United players don't come over here just for a holiday and just to have a nice run around the field. They come over here to win, they come over here to work hard. And it was the same when I came over to different countries with Manchester United and Real Madrid. You know, you come here to get your fitness up, you come here to work hard, and you come here to win. So we know that Manchester United are going to want to play this game, want to get their fitness in, not want to get any injuries, but also want to win the game. And you know, we're well aware of that.
We're going to go with Brian Lewis of the New York Post.
This is for Hans. Hans, you talked about Juan Agudelo, and you said you weren't surprised that he's on this roster, and you didn't have a problem with him. But you've also talked about how it's a little bit much for him early at such a young age, at a tender age, and you want to shield him, protect him from this kind of attention. Does this make it harder? Does this make your job more difficult in doing that?
Not really. I told the press a couple of weeks ago when it's all about Agudelo, I just say, please leave him. Let him grow his own way. He's only 18. He has a future, definitely, but it's no end product. It's a long, long way to go. But of course, it will be difficult as around when he's the target every day almost with appointments, appearances, interviews and stuff like that. So easy to lose focus. So we just have to work with that. But that's the way it is.
David, you've always been known for sportsmanship throughout your career. yesterday you played in a game when Balotelli was substituted for a lack of sportsmanship. What did you think about what he did yesterday?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, being on the field, I was surprised at first, but then I watched it back a few times, and I believe he thought it was offside from just his mannerisms. But I think what the manager, what Mancini was saying is, it doesn't matter whether you think it's offside, be professional and score the goal, whether it counts or not. But in defence of Mario, I think he generally thought he was offside. But there's a lot of young kids watching. There's a lot of kids looking up to these teams that come out and these great players. But Mario's been a great player for quite a few years, and he's still very, very young. So he'll continue to get better, I'm sure. I'm, as well, like Thierry said, I'm not a Manchester City manager, thank goodness. But no, I believe that he thought he was offside.
In the front row here,
Thierry. David spent quite a bit of time back in Europe in the close season since he went to Galaxy. It's something that would appeal to you as back to Europe or the Premier League, but then your stint or in the winter season?
No.
Why is that?
I'm happy here. I'm done with Europe. I had my career over there. I was fortunate enough to win everything with the national team at the club level. I'm happy with that. I'm happy here and trying to help my team winning something. It's already difficult, trust me. We're not having such a great season, but the motivation is here and the desire is here. So I respect what David did, but for me, that's where I am right now, and I'm happy to be.
Go in the middle here.
To David, what are your thoughts on the chemistry between the chosen all-star team, and do you think you guys have what it takes to actually beat Man United?
I think we've got a lot of young, good talent in this team. It's players that have been at the top of their game this season and for other seasons as well. It's not just about, obviously, this all-star team. There's players in this all-star team that have been involved in the last few years. So, these players are good players. Thierry said it before. It's not just about the big European players that are coming over to this league. There's a lot of young talent, like Hans was just saying. There's a lot of young talent throughout this league, and it's going to grow. It's continuing to grow. So as long as that continues, then this league will continue to grow like it is already, and bring other players over and have that excitement as well. But I think we have a chance on Wednesday. It's going to be tough. It's never easy coming up against Manchester United, no matter where you play in the world. So it's going to be a difficult game, but it's going to be a game to enjoy. You have to enjoy these occasions. You don't get many opportunities to play against the likes of Wayne Rooney and other players that Chicharito and so many other players that they've got. So as much as we want to win the game, it's important that we enjoy it.
Okay, we'll go to the orange shirt. Hans, right here. What's your strategy for being competitive in this game, and what does the outcome of this game mean to MLS?
I can say a happy team is always a dangerous team, so I hope we can have some happy players on Wednesday, and definitely it's a challenge. We will only have one session tomorrow to do some basic. Everyone knows the game with these players, but try to find out the basic attacking, defending. And I think every game like this are important for the league, and it would be nice to pick up a result to show not only this league or the fans here, but also in Europe that you can compete, and especially in the pre-season games. So I think if we have a good day, I think it's absolutely a possibility to pick up a good result. But it's only one session with these guys, but there are experienced guys, tons of experience. They know the game, they know the basics, but we just have to go through it and hopefully, as I said, pick up a good result.
With the gentleman in third row.
David, do you see any chance to be there on September 6th against Wales, to be in the national team? I mean, there was any communication between you and Mr. Capello?
I'd love to be involved with the England team. It's one of the reasons why, the question that was asked to Thierry, it's one of the reasons why I went on loan to Milan, to continue to be involved in the England team, and I did for quite a few games. So, but yeah, you know, I've always said I want to be available for my country and to play for my country. We've got a lot of great young talent coming through, and it's great that the managers, you know, giving these kids a chance because they're playing well at their league clubs, and they deserve it. But I've always said that I'll always leave the door open whether I go back and play or not. I always want to be available for my country. I've loved playing for England for many years. I'm proud of playing for England for 115 times, but I'd love to play again. So I need to keep my fitness up. I need to play well over here. You know, I've always had a good relationship with Fabio Capello and his staff. So if there's a chance, then of course I would love to play for my country again.
Go to the back, love to the gentleman in the white shirt.
Coach Backe, I was just curious how the loss of Landon Donovan, who announced yesterday they won't be playing, how his disappearance is affecting your planning for the All-Star game, and if you had a preference about replacing him, or if you're okay with his spot not going replaced.
No, he has been talked to Bruce Arena 7-10 days ago, and I'm not really sure exactly what kind of injuries, if it's groin or, but he's been struggling, so we just took the decision that don't play in this game. That, of course, he's a key player, one of the top players in this league. I decided not to replace him. We are already 19 outfield, and I will try to give everyone some minutes. I don't like to destroy the game or kill the game doing subs the whole second half, but I will give everyone minutes on Wednesday.
We have time for two more, starting here.
David, Thierry's spoken about Chicharito, bearing in mind, you know, Manchester United inside out. How impressed have you been with the way he's settled in both the Premier League and life at Old Trafford, bearing in mind everyone in here wants to see it in this country?
You know, I think it's great the way he's adjusted to playing in a different country and a different style of football. But great players can do that. He's still a young kid. But Sir Alex Ferguson has been renowned for over the years for giving young kids chances. It's one of the reasons why I was so successful at the club, and Nicky Barton, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, Ryan Giggs, Phil Neville. It's the reason why we were successful at the club, because he gave us a chance. So, you know, I think there's many people been surprised at the way he's performed and the goals that he's scored, but he's a great player, so he's taken his chance, he deserves to be there. Of course, many people, the fans, would love to see him playing here, but he's at one of the biggest clubs, the biggest club in the world. So, in my eyes, he deserves I don't know whether he's talking about Arsenal or Barcelona, but there's also Real Madrid. But no, you know, Chicharito, he deserves everything that he's achieved so far at Manchester United and everything they will continue to achieve, because he's not just a great player, he's a great lad, so I've heard, and he works hard, so he's going to be successful.
You're in the middle, in the back.
Hans, can you talk about your personal history with Manchester United, and how confident are you about maintaining your undefeated mark against them?
Very confident. 2 wins, I don't know, it was 2008 with Man City for the first time, I think it was 34 years. Man City won the double. Very happy fans that made their own DVD last year for those games. So it's 6 points and goal difference 3-1. So hopefully I don't like to lose that stats.
Great. At this time, we're going to bring in our guest from Manchester United, and we're going to have a brief photo op. I want to thank the gentleman at the